Rhea Ripley sends a one-word message to newly signed WWE Raw star. Rhea Ripley recently took to social media to send a message to a new member of the WWE Raw roster. She and Stephanie McMahon met backstage on the latest episode of the Red Brand. The Dark Angel signed a new contract and is now officially part of the main roster. She had a successful run in NXT, where she made history by becoming the first person to hold the NXT Women's Championship and North American Championship simultaneously. She competed in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match and defeated Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile. After the bout, Stephanie McMahon was interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly. She was interrupted by Rhea Ripley, and the two stars shook hands. Mommy shared a photo of the two of them on her Instagram story and included a one-word message. You can check out a screenshot of the post below. The former Judgment Day member welcomed La Primera to Monday Night Raw. It's possible that WWE was teasing a future match between the two stars, Vince Russo, on what WWE should do with Rhea Ripley. Mommy is one of the biggest female stars in the entire wrestling industry. However, she's not currently involved in any major storyline or feud. On Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, Vince Russo came up with an idea of how WWE could use Rhea Ripley. It is so easy for Rhea Ripley. Buddy Murphy used to work there. They let him go. She could be bitter over that. She could keep questioning that. She could keep telling them, "Why don't you bring him back?" They could tell her he works for another business. She could say, well, he would not be working for another company if, and she could start getting really. It's that simple. Give her something. Rhea will compete in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It'll be interesting to see whether she'll win her first contract, Rhea Ripley, to form a tag team with former champion and challenge for women's tag team title. Exploring the possibility. Rhea Ripley earned her place in the 2025 Women's Money in the Bank ladder match by defeating Kairi Sane on May 19. Unfortunately, Zoe Stark suffered a knee injury, turning the bout into a singles match. Ripley was able to capitalize on the opportunity and pin Sane for the win. Mommy is determined to win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The former Women's World Champion wants to prove that she is the most dominant force in WWE and secure her place at the top of the women's division with a potential MITB victory. On the latest episode of Raw, Rhea Ripley congratulated Stephanie McMahon after the latter won a triple threat MITB qualifying match against Ivy Nile and Liv Morgan. Ripley expressed her admiration for McMahon's performance, acknowledging her as a formidable competitor. Despite being contenders for the briefcase, Mommy and La Primera could form a tag team. Mommy might decide to partner with McMahon against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. The babyface duo could challenge for the women's tag team title after Money in the Bank. The Judgment Day members have not been on the same page lately, and their title reign could be in jeopardy. McMahon and Ripley could look to dethrone them and inject new life into the tag team division. As of now, the above-mentioned angle is speculative. Only time will tell what will happen next between the two fan favorites after the Money in the Bank match. Rhea Ripley to back out of Money in the Bank ladder match after an attack by Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley is one of the favorites to win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. However, she might have to back out of the contest because of the actions of a longtime rival. Current Women's Tag Team Champion Liv Morgan lost the opportunity to secure her place in the MITB ladder match on the latest episode of Raw. Following the loss, she might attack Ripley out of frustration due to their storied history as rivals. The Miracle Kid might be upset after losing the chance to fight for the coveted contract. Hence, she might not want Mommy to have that opportunity. A potential attack by Morgan could prevent the former WWE Women's World Champion from making it to the MITB ladder match. Morgan could then use her status as champion to replace Mommy in the contest. However, this is mere speculation, and nothing is confirmed. Rhea Ripley shows off unbelievably solid abs ahead of WWE MITB photos. Rhea Ripley is gearing up for her maiden Money in the Bank ladder match. A few weeks ago, on Raw, Ripley competed in and won a qualifying triple threat match that also had Zoe Stark and Kairi Sane. The match saw Stark get accidentally injured after a missed dropkick opportunity on Sane. With all 6 spots secured, the other 5 wrestlers are Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie McMahon. The Eradicator last vied for the championship in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41 against champion Io Sky and Bianca Belair, which Sky won by pinning Belair. While Ripley is a major star in the company, she has had a quiet time on screen. For Rhea Ripley, Ripley doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. Ripley is someone who can get a title shot without a cash-in. Taking a cheap way to the title doesn't fit her persona. WWE may want to hand her another big achievement. The only reason that Rhea Ripley would be given the Money in the Bank contract is to tick off another achievement, following up on world titles, a Royal Rumble, and the tag titles. However, Ripley is already a made name on the WWE roster, so giving her the briefcase would feel like a backwards booking call, and WWE may try to avoid the backlash a Ripley win could garner. Ripley is an ass-kicking babyface, so a Money in the Bank contract would be odd for her character. Julia has been on the main roster for a couple of months. WWE signed her with the idea of her being a big star. It could still be too soon for Julia to hold the briefcase. Julia arrived to the WWE main roster as a heel, fitting the bill for someone who would do well with the Money in the Bank briefcase. It may be too soon for Julia, much like with Vacker, and WWE may yet spend some time building her up before pulling the trigger. When WWE signed Julia, it was said that the promotion was hoping for her to be the next big international star, and with WWE spending much more time abroad nowadays, it may be Julia's time to get a massive breakout win. There are still some other names more likely than her though. Roxanne Perez. Perez has a character that fits the briefcase. She has been impressing on the main roster in 2025. Perez has recently started a storyline with Dominic Mysterio. Her cowardly heel character is perfect for the briefcase. It has been an interesting year for Roxanne Perez. She had huge performances in the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, but fell out of favor around WrestleMania season. However, she is now a fully fledged main roster member and has shown great charisma as a heel, particularly in her attempts to weasel her way into the Judgment Day and in favor of Dominic Mysterio. Her current gimmick is one most perfectly suited for the Money in the Bank briefcase, and her natural talent could well lead WWE to pushing her to the moon in 2025. However, she cannot be considered the ultimate favorite due to WWE's inconsistency with her push this year. Naomi. Naomi is the favorite for Money in the Bank. She has been a top heel on SmackDown. She has always been a contender for Money in the Bank. Naomi is likely in line for a world title push. Anytime Naomi is in Money in the Bank, she is in conversation as a potential winner. There is a different energy heading into the 2025 event though, as Naomi is riding a wave of momentum after a heel turn and character refresh, in which she has been killing it. Naomi has been on the precipice of the world title picture over the last year, so it feels like just a matter of time before she gets her hands on a WWE world title for the first time in years. She is undoubtedly the favorite. Rhea Ripley could be getting a new on-screen romantic partner in WWE. Recent social media interactions between Rhea Ripley and WWE Backstage correspondent Kathy Kelly have ignited fan speculation about a potential new romantic storyline developing on WWE Raw. A notable TikTok video posted by Kelly, featuring a playful moment with Ripley in a call booth, has been widely interpreted by fans. This, combined with Kelly reportedly referring to herself as Ripley's work girlfriend and expressing on X a desire to see Ripley face Stephanie McMahon, has fueled these theories. With reports indicating the 36-year-old Kelly is preparing for an expanded on-television presence, some fans envision her potentially acting as Ripley's on-screen partner or manager, particularly if a feud with McMahon materializes. Meanwhile, Ripley is focused on the 2025 Women's Money in the Bank ladder match on June 7. Her prominent positioning has reportedly drawn some criticism from viewers who perceive her as being consistently pushed into title contention. These discussions of a romantic angle or a formal partnership between Ripley and Kelly remain speculative, arising from fan interpretations of their online interactions, with no confirmation of such plans from WWE. 5 Stephanie Vacker feuds we want to see on WWE Raw, including against Rhea Ripley. Stephanie Vacker has made an immediate impact in WWE in less than a year. The Dark Angel arrived in NXT and took the entire landscape by storm. She quickly went on to become the NXT Women's North American Champion. A few months later, Vacker defeated her counterpart, Julia, to win the top prize of the brand, the NXT Women's Championship. La Primera was riding the wave of success as the face of the developmental brand. However, she shockingly dropped the title to Jacy Jayne on the May 26th edition of WWE NXT. This was done to move her up to the main roster. With Stephanie Vacker now a part of Monday Night Raw, here are the top 5 feuds that could await her in the big leagues. Liv Morgan has been one of the most talented in-ring competitors on Raw. However, in recent memory, NXT stars like Roxanne Perez have been causing trouble in her life on the Red brand. The arrival of Stephanie Vacker could just add to her problems. While she might be a force to be reckoned with, a feud between Vacker and Morgan would be a captivating program. 4. Roxanne Perez.